Paul Marsh, and today I want to give a quick demonstration of automating testing in Unity. So let's have a look what we've got. So here we've got a little scene and we have some walls, we've got a little player, we've got a goal, we've got our sort of typical navigation rig. So we can come to the player and have a look at them. They've got a little script on them called yet another player. And there's just a standard kind of nav mesh agent, rigid body. It's just going to have a target, and then we set the destination for the nav mesh agent, and we expose the remaining distance. There's nothing particularly interesting in that. So back to the Unity. Now for the testing, I'm using the Unity's test runner. So you just go General Test Runner. I've pinned it here. And then when you start off, this is empty, and you can create, go to your folders, and you create, in my case, a play mode, play test. And that creates this definition, assembly definition folder. So let's have a look at that. So you need this because the testing creates a separate library. So there's a bit of cross-referencing that's required. So if you come over here, you can see that it's in the assembly definition references, it's referencing my project. I called my project testing demo. So you come into here and you create an assembly definition. And all that does is basically a reference that other assemblies can use. And you can just leave this as its defaults. So when you go to the testing one, the main thing is you have to reference this other assembly, which is your assembly. So assembly definition references, you just do the add, and you can add a new one in here, and you just point to the one you want. Oops, not selected. Okay, right. So now what? How do you test? So we come to our script here that we've got, and you get a new little attribute called Unity Test, and that allows you to use a numerator. So it's basically a coroutine. And I tend to use a given, when, then syntax. So given we have an initialized player, so what does that look like? So we have a player object, and then we can do game object find with tag, player. And because we want to check that these things are correctly initialized, we can do is not null. So we're asserting. So the test framework will stop if it is null. And then we want our actual player. So that is player object, get component, yet another player. Okay, and so we've initialized a player, so we want to make sure that they've got a goal, I guess. Player goal target. Okay, and we want to know where they're starting. So starting remaining distance equals player remaining distance. And we can also assert that is not equal or not equal. That's what I want. And expected is okay. We don't want it to be 0. So starting remaining distance. Okay, so that's our initialization, I think. Looking okay. So given when the player has moved for, what would you say, 4 seconds? 4 seconds. So basically we just want to wait for the game. Wait 4 seconds. Then they are closer to, they have moved from the start. so we need to get the distance. So var current remaining distance equals player remaining distance. And then we can do a vector 3.distance between current and starting. And we can assert that. So we can say assert that, what were we asserting? That I'm not really sure what to assert. It's different. So the difference isn't. We have moved somewhere. So this is telling me he wants vectors. These are distances. So I don't need that, do I, really? I can just do. I can just do that. They're not equal. That's all I'm interested in. Current remaining distance. Oh, I've got rid of that. Equals that. Okay, so I think that looks good logically. So we come back to Unity, and hopefully after the compile in our test runner, we have player moves towards goal after 4 seconds. So let's see if this works, and it won't. So let's see why. Okay, so we've got an error, and the assertion's failed. And let's have a look, see if we can go to open error line. So it's not found the object. Now, the reason why this is although we're running with the scene in view, it doesn't actually use that scene, which is slightly confusing. So what you have to do is go to Scene Manager, load scene, and I think it's called, what's it called now? Testing. Okay, let's try that again. So there's our player, and after 4 seconds, oh, not equal to infinity. Okay, so the remaining distance thing doesn't really work on Nav Mesh Agent. I didn't know that. Obviously some issue, my misunderstanding of it. So I've changed it to just use a basic vector distance calculation. So let's try and run that again. Well, it shows you that the tests help improve your code. Let's run it again. Okay, so off the player goes. Yeah, he's passed. So we get the distances are definitely different. So yeah, hopefully you can see that using automated testing, you can use it on your actual objects at game time. Yeah, so you can make sure everything's working. And really the main benefit of this isn't so much about when you're coding on your own. It's really more about when you've got lots of different people all working together on the same thing. So you can have one test to make sure that indeed the player does move towards the sphere and somebody hasn't put something in where they jump over there and they're already at it too quickly or something like that. So hopefully you get the idea. Yeah, hope it's been useful. Thanks.